It's Western Supers starting with the ball.
Here we are, Sean Endicott and Neil Henderson for Onside Productions at the League One flag final. This game between the South Midlands Outlaw Gunslingers and the Weston Supers. Super started out with the ball with a nice little play up the middle, and here we are with the score tied at 0-0, just one play into the game. Neil, looked like a good one today.
Yeah, some surprising results. At least one of these teams not expected to get through today. The Western Supers ranked 7 out of 8 today after winning their division with an 11-5 record. Have already knocked out 2 of the higher ranked teams today, and only playing with 5 players on each side of the ball.
That's amazing. It makes my job a bit easier as a commentator as well. We got the roster there on the second play from scrimmage. Quarterback Matt Keese got a short completion over to the right side of the field, only gained a couple yards there.
Matt just coming back from having his appendix out a few weeks ago.
That's quite the recovery, really, when you think about it. Here is Keese back to throw it, throws deep over the middle and just out of the outstretched hands of number 10, Sam Matthews. In case anyone is joining us from previous Onside Production broadcasts, obviously we cover a lot of contact games as well as the flag game here. The rules are slightly different here. Centers are eligible, go linemen. I think most linemen love the flag game for that. At least I know I would. and we'll see a bit of strategies that we'll go through a bit out the game. But for you flag veterans, this should be a great clash between these two League One teams. I believe this is fourth down here.
Fourth and halfway, so teams start on the 5-yard line. I've got 4 downs up to get to halfway.
And a deep pass over a little post route
Oh,
there
he's
to
got
number
it.
14, Gareth Brock, and a great grab in traffic. Had 3 people defending him there on that deep post route, just past the middle of the field if you're looking from your left to your right. So, again, if you're new, there is a no-run zone.
Yeah, I think
inside
they
of flag.
are just out.
So if Neil
Might even be on the line, so within the 5-yard line you're not allowed to run with the ball. The ball basically has to cross the line of scrimmage in the air, so you can do some fancy stuff in the backfield, but you still have to throw a forward pass that goes over the line of scrimmage.
all 4 receivers towards the front of the line, and just a little quick shovel pass out there
Oh,
to
he's
the left.
missed the tackle.
I think
Oh, no, he
they
did get
just
it.
got the flag just at the 1-yard line, and that is just a little shovel pass to Sam Matthews again, I believe.
No.
Yeah, with this no-run zone, I mean, it's all. I mean, technically, you can't run it, but you can.
You can do some fancy stuff
You can
in
do
the
a lot
back,
of fun plays. You can flip it to a quarterback, who can then flip it to another guy. All sorts of fancy plays. If you hear some intermittent,
there's a. That's exactly what we were just talking about there, an illegal run penalty. So they tried that little flick pass. In the officials' opinion, the ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage in the air.
that is an important clarification. It's not just a forward pass; it's a forward pass that passes
That's
the
correct.
line
So
of
you
scrimmage.
could the technicality of it, you could do a forward pass so the ball physically move forward, but if it's caught behind the line of scrimmage, and I think that's what exactly they did there.
So they're going to try again, repeating that first down with Keese in the shotgun. A little quick pass, sidearms it there, and gets the touchdown.
And they're thinking about it. Ah, yeah.
Yep. Just got the signal there. Touchdown to Sam Matthews to put the Supers on the board, 6-0. Now they can try for 1 or they can try for 2. What would you do
So
here?
the scoring is similar to the contact game, so you can go for a 1-point extra point from the 5-yard line, or you can go for a 2-point extra point from the 10-yard line. So it used to be the 2-point used to be from the 12 yards, but as of this season, IFAF have changed the rules. It's now at the 10.
So Jacob Matthews here to snap the ball to Matt Keese under center.
Oh,
Quick little shovel pass out there to the right, batted down, or at least fell short of the receiver. So they are stuck at 6, but they are first on the board. A quick score for the Supers there.
so timing-wise, it's a 20-minute half. The clock does not stop for the first 18 minutes at all unless there's an injury. And then at the 2-minute warning, then it's like normal football rules, incomplete, out of bounds, etc. The clock will stop, but otherwise the clock runs continuously.
And a quick play there off the left, not quite getting to midfield for number 13, Jordan Millay, for the South Midlands Outlaw Gunslingers, but we will be calling them Smog
Absolutely.
throughout the broadcast, as they love to be called.
So this is a new team, the first time they've played this year, but all very experienced players. A number of these players, including Jordan that just caught it there playing at centre, number 7 Adam Grinrod at quarterback, and the well-known Nathan Coles with his exceptionally tight shorts. Used to play with the Northants Titans, but split away to form this team this time last year, and this is their first year in the league.
And just as you mentioned him, Grinrod had a nice completion there for a first down across the middle of the field. I've noticed here throughout the day, if you hear a little intermittent cheering, there are multiple games going on here for the multiple levels of flag.
Yeah, we've had up to 6 games simultaneously today throughout the day here in Manchester.
And Grinrod gets another quick pass out, and number 88, Tom Reed, does a little bit of a twist to get just inside the 10-yard line. So Grinrod, I've noticed, as many of these quarterbacks are, a little bit able to change the launch angle. You see that a bit more in the flag game. Free rushers and people running straight at you in straight lines will cause you to be able to get rid of the ball very quickly.
And indeed you do. Some of us that play quarterback don't do it properly. I know I play quarterback myself, sidearm it, but it seems to work.
And number 27, Jacob Matthews, for the Supers, gets a pass defended there, and the ball falls to the ground. So not many more tries here to try to get on the board for Smog. Let's see if they can go ahead and get on the board, coming out with 2 receivers to Adams' right, 1 set very wide out to the left. Looking over the middle of the field, rotates there, dumps it off.
Looks for Jordan again. He gets down to the, what's that, the 2-yard line?
About the 2, yeah, just inside. Depends where they spot him with that outreached hand there. Good play by Malay to get that.
Brings up the 4th down, 4th and
so
short. Weston did it when they had the chance.
Now they are in the no-run zone, so watch out for screen passes behind the line of scrimmage and anything like that are out. They have
knowing this team, he's looking over at Nathan Coles on the side. As I reckon his jump ball into that corner.
One-on-one coverage. No, he looks over the middle of the field, but past defense, no flag. The receiver kind of got up and looked for one, but didn't get anything there. So Tony Reed gets the incompletion off of his hands. And that means that the Supers will take the ball and start from their own 5-yard line.
Gunslingers very much the favourites in this game, not just because of their seeding, but particularly the number of players they've got. Our viewers will notice that Weston have only got 5 players on the pitch today. They've only had 5 all day today. They are actually quite a big squad, a good dozen or so people normally, but people not available.
Now, Neil, how much of a factor do you think fatigue is for a team like that, particularly when you're playing multiple games in a day?
I think people often play both ways, but when we're in the finals day, I think it could well. They've had 2 very close and tough games already today. It could well be the difference.
And there is a quick shovel again that looks like a favorite play there so far from Keese to Frost. That is Dan Frost, number 3 for the Supers.
And Sophie Parsons, number 15, with the tackle on defence. This is as it is in the contact game, a mixed sport at this level. So it's good to see that the women are playing at the highest level here too.
Absolutely, getting the tackle there on a key first down, trying to get a stop here so they stay only 1 score down. Again, a little quick forward pass slightly to number 14, Gareth Brock, and he scampers his way up the sideline to get close to midfield, about 2 or 3 yards short of the midfield spot. On-site production's happy to go here, as we are for this entire month, covering all sorts of American football. We have this, we have the Brit Ball final, all sorts of things that you'll see throughout the weekend, so make sure to stay tuned, like, subscribe, click those bell icons and everything else that YouTube asks you to make sure that you catch all of the American football action here in Brit Ball. Now, 2 receivers set up close to the center. A quick little jab forward. Let's see if he got the spot. It depends. The ref is right on the line. Let's see if they give them the first down. They're still thinking about it. Yes, and they do get the first down. That was right on that line. Could have measured it with an index card.
One thinks it's over, and the one on this side thinks it's not. It's going to be very close.
Let's see what the head ref weighs in there.
Yeah, he's giving it.
He does. Now, as I understand, the referees here, very qualified BAFA refs. Some of you will be very familiar with them. They've refed some very big games throughout the country for multiple years, doing the best job here to make sure that we get all these rulings in, and that's one of the first times they're going to weigh in on a close play. Here's that formation again. 2 receivers just off the center, and then 1 lined up, almost like a tight end to the right side. A quick shovel pass there to Brock. Oh, I'm sorry, to Sam Matthews, rather. And he gets just a yard or 2 on that first down. Now, Neil, for those listening in, you have quite a bit of experience with the flag game.
Yeah, I've played for a lot of years, and coming on 20 years, both up in Scotland and now down on the south coast with the Chichester Sharks, where we play tomorrow.
20 years? You don't look much older than 20 now. When did you start playing?
That's very kind. Oh, it was I'm a lot older than I look.
Now with the bunch formation out there, gets a sidearm pass over the middle, scurrying past the defender, mostly going from right to left on your screen, but number 7 from Smog, Adam Grinrod, gets that tackle there. So for someone who's new to the game, it's particularly flag, what are some of the strategy differences that you're going to see in something like this at this level, where it is 5-a-side, you get a little bit more of an open field? What are we looking for today?
I think it's it's speed, it's quick release from the quarterback, as you already said. A lot of the technique or the principles are exactly the same. There's misdirection, there's play action. You get somebody on a hitch and go and get them with that with that pump fake, get them down the sideline.
There's Keyston Matthews on a little bit of a wheel route to the right side.
And that's the same on both sides of the ball, whether they're playing offense and defense is the same. A lot of teams will play man coverage, but and we'll switch into zone coverage as well. At this level, what you'll particularly see is a blitz pretty much on every single play.
And we'll get into the blitzing rules a bit, because you'll see every once in a while a defender will have their hand up in the air clarifying that. We'll cover that after this play. So there's a little out route just over the end zone. Keys gets that completion to, I cannot see that well, to number 27, Jacob Matthews. So it's a quick little out route there. Nice pass just out the outreached hands of the defenders. And let's see if they go for 1 or try to make it up and go for 2 to get that 14 points on the board.
Sticking to 1.
Looks like that.
Most teams go for 1. There are a couple who pretty much go for 2 every time.
We'll see what happens in the future, but I agree that they're sticking with that right now. Now the quarterback seems to be maybe changing the play here. Just walked over to one of his receivers on the right. Let's see if that is the hot man. It is a little quick out route. He must have read that defense perfectly. Made the adjustment there. A little quick out just off from the receiver, just off to the right of center, and gets that conversion there. Very clever play. He must have saw a hole in the defense.
They do that really well. And what you'll notice is that he's playing under center rather than shotgun. Most of the teams will play shotgun, just to give you that extra separation from the blitz.
Well, here in flag, with so many ways to get the ball to a playmaker's hands, under center is almost like a way you can pitch it to someone and get a run slash pass. You can do a lot of different things, shovel pass out of it. And
the Western Supers do that really well, as you saw there. They do that little pitch. They do a lot of crossing underneath routes.
And there's a deep pass from the Smog down their left side of the field, your right side, looking at the screen, and it is over the head of the both receiver and defender there, trying to stretch out the field a bit, try to open up on a deep score. White flags there, blowing in the wind for the defense right now. You can see the wind is picking up a bit, but I don't think it's quite enough to affect gameplay yet.
No, we should be all right. It's coming across the pitch slightly. The weather has been, the forecast was looking a bit iffy, but we've actually had dry all day here so far.
And a rusher over the middle, but a quick pass.
Gets the
tackle there, but the completion is first about 5 yards short of the midfield line to number 21, Pat Lane. That's the first time we've said his name today.
Pat Lane, an acquisition for Smog, who moved across from the Coventry Panthers at the start of this year.
That's a bit of a move. Well, I suppose.
They're all in the Midlands. There's so many teams in the Midlands. They could just about have their own league.
Hey, they used to. I don't know flag, but we used to have the was it Super Midlands League back in the day for unis?
Oh, a drop there by Jordan Malay.
Yeah, Jordan Malay gets that drop. That would have been short anyway. I'm not sure they would have even gained a yard. It was just a shallow route right over the middle.
Brings up 4th down, 4th and about 6 yards, I think.
Yeah, about 6. That's what I'd say. That shallow route, trying to take care of, trying to take advantage of some athleticism, but I'm not sure they would have gained much there. Let's see if they go deeper or choose to just go try to get over the field. And here is the snap, rusher, and he gets it over the middle, but it is a drop there.
Alan Mead is just walking across the back of pitch 1 if you need to catch him.
Pat Lane there just kicking himself, I think, dropping that because that would have been a first down. So that means that the Supers are going to take over on their own 5-yard line for yet another drive. Supers out to a quick start already, up 13.
Yeah, and as what they did in their earlier games on today, I think Outlaw Gunslingers probably expecting to score at least on one of those 2 drives.
Well, they've tried to go deep, they've tried to go short, and so far the Supers have held up well on defense on both fronts. So here is Keys back to pass. One running back out to his right, runs a bit of an option play there, tosses it to number 10, Sam Matthews, for about a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, they're just doing those short pitches, get the ball into hand, and hopefully get break a tackle, get those extra yards.
Little death by 1,000 cuts, and then,
Absolutely.
and then they found one really good seam or a little route that they can take advantage of, as we've seen. So they are in the huddle there, defense ready to go, spread out, with Sophie Parsons the closest to the line of scrimmage there, holding right over that middle of the field line. Shotgun for Keys with 2 receivers out to his right, 1 receiver wide out to his left. Rock steps, this little sidearm, little pass there. Number 2 who escapes a tackle. Oh, almost broke it deep, but didn't actually even get past the midfield line because some really handy defense there, getting that flag out, making the tackle.
Half a yard short, I think, but still moving the ball. That defender went for the ball rather than trying to making sure of the tackle.
Got to take advantage of that there. If you play the ball, you got to get the ball.
Absolutely.
So here we are again, same look so far.
3rd and about 1.
The receiver, Gareth Brock, a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage here and closer to the center on the left. So let's see what they do here. Free rusher right up the middle, and there was a flag on the play. Let's see what the referee has to say. Probably a procedural penalty here based on the signal that we're seeing.
So it's up. It's up. Turned it off.
That was a false start, I believe. And we will sort out that microphone issue from the referee in a sec, but that did seem to be a false start. As signaled by the referee, a little procedural penalty there, slowing down the Supers, giving them about, I'd say, 6-7 yards to get to the first down line. Here we are with 1 running back off to the right side, receiver close to the left side here.
Thank you.
Rolls out to his right, a wobbly pass, almost picked off by number 7, Adam Grinrod, saying his name a lot today. That was a little bit of a wobbler there, not a clean release from the pass there. Looking for a post route across the middle and could not get the connection. Great defense as well.
So they've gone from 3rd and half a yard to 4th and about 6 now.
Yep. Little more room to work with, I suppose. Let's see what they can do here and where they line up their receivers. Dan Frost out wide just along the sideline. 2 receivers close to the center. Gets a little rock step, rotates out here, looks for the option. Frost gets it deep down. Oh, and it hits the receiver's hands, but just a straight drop.
That's got to go down as a drop, that one. That would have been 3 scores up. I've got Ian Tucker from the Plymouth Wolverines here, who's just stuck a bit of paper under my nose to inform me that the Western Supers have never lost a game after being 20 points up all season.
What a stat. Wow.
So they are currently 13 points up. That would have made it 19 if they'd got that touchdown there.
And now Smog try to get, again, a drop over them. We've seen a lot of those drops today.
There's a lot of drops.
That's surprising.
That one was just behind it, but you've got to, this is the final, the League One final for the whole year. You shouldn't be dropping those ones. Well, there have been an awful lot of drops so far.
Most of these teams are 8 tourneys into the season. You got to be catching.
Absolutely.
If it hits your hands, you got to make a catch there, get a big play, get your team rolling because they are falling behind. And now here is a deep pass.
Nathan Coles
gets over
again.
the defender.
Oh, great
what
defense.
A pass defense there! A diving bat down of the ball by the one and only Dan Frost, who recently just threw that pass down deep himself. That's versatile skill set. And Frost is walking back now. The referee is in the middle of the field. What does he signal? Do we know?
I was just trying to work it out. Was that just his 4th down signal? Because there was a drop, there was a long one.
Doesn't seem to have thrown a flag.
No.
Just signaling 4th down there.
Or 3rd down, I think it is.
Oh,
I'm not sure what the signal was.
Okay, then. So, Russia with his hand up just over center, streaking down the field towards the quarterback.
Looks
gets
one way,
away,
comes back
deep
the other.
pass.
Oh, his
beautiful
foot was on the
fade
line.
route.
Oh, he's given it. I'm not sure about that.
I think he might have had a foot in, but it's hard to tell. Maybe we can get a replay here.
If we can get a replay of that. Yeah,
no replay today, but it was a nice fade route.
It was a great.
It was certainly within inches there, and a great catch because that's what it was ruled.
He looked to his left, came back to his right. I think from this angle, it looked like his foot was slightly on the line to me, but
he certainly didn't get 2 in. But you only need 1, and they said that he had enough. So here is Grinrod back in shotgun again.
Underthrown, I think, there to number 88, Tom Reed.
Puts it again just over the middle. They're struggling a bit with these over the middle passes. A lot of timing to get right, and you got to get your focus on there. Maybe a bit of nerves this early on in the game. It was a beautiful fade route, really, if you look at it. Great ball placement, and gets them over the midfield line. So now they have a few more tries to get a score here. 2 receivers set out to his right, 1 on the sideline to the left. Breaks down here, looks from his right to his left, gets a completion over the middle to number 13, Jordan Millay, for just a short gain, maybe 2 or 3 yards.
That brings up third on about 10, 11 yards.
I'm interested to see who stands out today from the center spot. See if we get any receptions here by the few centers. Millay has caught a few himself already, and we'll see if that continues. A shotgun out here. Rusher comes down. What a place. Oh, wow. Did he get a foot drag in
he's
there?
given it, yeah.
He has given it there. What a catch by Jordan Millay.
Just called the centre's number there, number 13, Jordan on the corner route to the right-hand side.
Well, there you go. It's instead of the broadcaster's curse, gets the broadcaster's blessing there. Doesn't exactly look like a lineman, though. I'd say that
It
much.
definitely doesn't.
Then again, you don't need to there when you can catch passes like that, do you?
The centre are very much a part of the offense in flag football.
Smog going for the 1-point conversion here.
Oh,
and gets a nice completion
Nathan
there.
Coles with the bobble catch.
Right in the corner there, gets the toe drag in there, and that was a good looking play for the conversion to get them 7 points on the board, and now within striking distance of the lead if they can score on the next drive.
Nathan Cole's not only known for his exceptionally tight shorts, but for the amount of food that he can eat. He's very well known for his food eating challenges.
Now, are those correlated? Tight shorts and food eating?
Well, you know, Nathan is a personal trainer, so you know, it makes no sense whatsoever.
If you work hard enough, you can eat whatever you want.
Absolutely, but the amount of food that he can't eat.
Very impressive. And here we go with the Supers coming out. 2 receivers out to the left. Dan Frost out to the right in the shotgun. Get the one-hand snap out there. Rock step. Gets a deep pass over the middle, but that's too deep. Could not connect with Sam Matthews. He was open.
He was open, but a bit overthrown there. They haven't gone downfield very often, and the couple of times that they have, it hasn't worked.
Yeah, I think they've had much more success with the short game, and they'll probably try to keep that up. But got to keep the defense honest. Maybe get someone to step backwards 1 or 2 more steps on the next play that you can throw underneath, or get some sort of pass over the middle. Not a ton of substitution on either side of the ball. Well, no, I'd say, I mean, obviously one team only has the 5 players, but we're seeing quite a few of the faces stay on defense the whole time there for the Smog.
I think they have 8 players with them today, so there's a bit of switching over.
Rush over the middle, forces a sidearm throw to number 14, Gareth Brock. You can see that. And Neil, can you explain these rushing rules to anyone who's new? They are a bit different.
In flag football, to cross the line of scrimmage as a defender, you have to be 7 yards back from the line of scrimmage at the point of the snap. So you can see, so to blitz, you have to start back. You'll see number 12 here has his hand up. That basically means you get a straight line to where the quarterback gets the ball, and all of the receivers have to get out of the way. Unless, of course, there is a handoff or a play action pass, and then anybody can cross the line of scrimmage.
There we go, and we just get a little bit of a wheel route from number 10. Just little pitch to the side almost, just barely forward to just get a few yards here, get them closer to the midfield line. Now there are some also specific rules on if the center doesn't move his or her feet.
So if the center snaps the ball and then stands completely still, they don't have to move at all, and the blitzer has to go around them. If they take even a single step, then they have to get out of the blitzer's way.
So if you ever see a center just standing there, it's not laziness, it's scheme.
No, it's very smart football. So if the center can snap it, stand still, and what they might often do is actually just scoot round to exactly where the blitzers come from, into that space in that middle zone.
Now Keese is under center. We're going to see that option again to Frost, and he does get a completion.
Missed
and
tackle.
Breaks a tackle, missed tackle there, a little bit of a stiff arm.
And another miss
and a
as
touchdown.
well.
Wow. 27 trotting his way into the end zone. Jacob Matthews with a little bit of a strut So on that play, we saw an option, a great completion over the middle, a missed tackle, and then a bit of a stiff arm. That's something I'm used to seeing here.
Well, I know it's a non-contact sport. There no stiff arms are allowed. So obviously, in the officials' opinion, there was no contact.
They certainly created separation. I'll put it that
yeah.
way. And now they are going for one again, sticking with that strategy you mentioned earlier. One receiver just set off. Now remember, last time we went this way, they had a quick play to that receiver. Let's see if they do that again. And they do, but this time it is covered up by number 21, Pat Lane, in on the defense. I think they sniffed out that out route that time.
That makes, with that extra point miss, that makes the score 19 to the Western Supers and 7 to the Outlaw Gunslingers.
Well, you know, if you miss enough of these conversions, it really adds up.
Oh, it makes a huge... The number of games throughout the season that can be determined by these missed extra points.
It's been interesting as well because they're so much better with the short game. You'd think that that would be their strength, but I guess when there's a top of the end zone, there's so much less room to work with.
Exactly, you don't have that depth.
No threat of that. Now that is a nice pass over the middle there, and you're seeing him, Nathan Coles, in his shorts running down the field. Is that Nathan Coles?
That is Nathan Coles, yeah.
He's
Number
wearing
yeah, number... oh, he's got a different shirt number on, just
different
to confuse
shirt number
us.
than our rosters today.
Yeah, that's definitely Nathan Coles.
All right, you would know.
Yeah.
Two receivers out to the left side of your screen. Quarterback, rock steps here, scans the field, goes deep, looking for Nathan in the end zone, just off his fingertips.
It's a tough try, that one.
He had two defenders there. Safety came in over the top to bring in some help, and Frost there on defense as well. Did hit his hands, but he was just fell out of his reach.
I think that might actually be a number 10, but it's just the design of their numbers that makes that look.
You got better
like
eyesight than me.
Yeah.
I should go to whatever glasses manufacturer is willing to sponsor on-site productions. All right, here we go. One receiver set close to the center, and then two on the outside of that. So all three on
Trips.
the quarterback's
First time
left.
we've seen Trips, I think.
And he's rolling around, trying to get outside that defender. He does get away, throws it deep over, outside of bounds, outside the reach of Nathan Coles. Some fancy footwork there to get a little more time to pass, but could not get the completion.
And that brings up half-time.
Now at halftime, we are at a score of 19-7. What do you think so far, Neil?
I think disappointing from by the Smog. There are too many drops. I think they were starting to get it together at the end, but no. Once you go 2 scores down, it's tricky to get it back. Having to start forcing it, going deep quite a lot, as they are known with the receivers that they got with Jordan Millay and Nathan Coles. It's, the ability is there to do it.
I saw a bit of a change in the last maybe 2 or 3 minutes of the half there. They went to Coles a bit more often.
Yep.
I think they thought maybe they could get a deep bomb or two off of him. I wouldn't be surprised to see that be a strategy they start in the second half.
Absolutely. I know Western Supers doing what they do best with that sort of short dink and dunk stuff. It's only a 2-yard pass, but if you get 5 yards every play from it, after those yards after catch, that's all you need. Do that 8 times, you're going to score.
When you saw that yards after catch come into effect off that option pass from Frost at the end of the first half there, caught it just over the midfield line and then juked and got their way all the way into the end zone. So that's 24 and a half yards after the catch.
Exactly.
The half times in the flag game, not... Let's see, how long are they usually?
Should be 2 minutes
Pretty
only.
quick half.
They might give them a little bit longer, but no, it's pretty quick turnaround time.
So we'll flip the field here and see what we can do in the second half. They're already walking back on the field.
So after this game, we have an interesting final between the London Smoke, who just sneaked out the Baker Street Button Hookers in their semi-final, against the Cardiff Hurricanes, who again beat in a 1-point game against the Grangemouth Broncos.
So 2 close games there, and that Button Hookers game came down to, I believe, pretty late in the game. There was a last play of the game, and there was a bit of disappointment by the Button Hookers.
Oh, they'll be exceptionally disappointed. The Button Hookers, the only team in any conference within flag football this year to go unbeaten throughout the season, so to lose the final after having won it the league in the past 2 years, they'll be exceptionally disappointed.
So here is a lot of time over there and a little bit of a pass to a waiting receiver to his right, about 10 yards down the field, and that's a solid completion for Grunrod to start up the second half.
That looked incomplete from over here. One of them signaling incomplete.
Let's see what the referees say. They have moved the ball, but we'll see if they overturn it or not. Nope, It seems to have been overturned by the sideline referee. Must have had a better angle on it. So that is back to the 5-yard line there. So we get that incomplete pass, setting it up for 2nd down. They line up with one receiver just to the left of the center on the line, Nathan Coles, and 2 receivers set out to the right. Shovel pass to Nathan. He jukes, misses 1 tackle, misses 2 tackle, misses 3 tackles,
the Nathan
breaks
Coles.
into the open field, has the ball high above his head, and finally gets tackled down about the 7-yard line.
And that's the Nathan Coles that the Outlaw Gunslingers need to turn up now. They'll be looking to him, and Jordan Milley in particular.
Well, he's certainly stepped up so far into the first half there and gets them into striking distance here to start out the second. Can really close that gap. Very athletic there as well.
He really is.
He's really juking those defenders. Very impressive. Coles is just off to the right of the center. 3 receivers on the right side of the field.
Oh.
Gets a little bit of a crossing pattern there. Had 1 receiver going up top, 1 underneath.
Bit of miscommunication there, I think.
Couldn't get that connection. Just a bit behind him, just a bit high. Almost hit him in the face, really. See what we can see here on a 2nd down for the offense here. 1 receiver out to the left, Nathan Coles. 2 out to the right with 1 close to the center. Defense has 3 players over the middle, 1 rushing the quarterback there.
Pump fakes one way.
Looks to his right, left.
Did he
Let's see if they get it
yes,
here. Yes,
did.
What a touchdown. Catching it on his knees and falling while staying in bounds.
They all count. They really needed that one.
Hey,
some 1 score behind.
A knee, foot, any part of you get it down, you get a catch. Very impressive play, and really good job by Adam to look out to his right.
Yeah,
pump fake's
great
going.
pump fake.
Scan out to his left, make those defenders jump. Now going for the conversion, see if they can stay on the momentum that they have right now. Takes a snap, looks over the middle of the field, a nice high pass. Looks like a nice, maybe a bit of a bat by the
Possibly,
defender.
he might have got a little bit of a finger. It certainly did enough to put him off.
Certainly, it was high regardless, but I think the defender, as you can see, very tall defender there, would have been quite the drop in the bucket to get it over and then
down.
And then down. That's a challenging pass to make. So now we're at a score of 19-3 with the Smog coming back.
19-13.
19-13. I'm sorry, can't read.
That's just my writing.
19-13. That would make sense with 2 scores. Yeah. Let's see if the second half has some more points.
So
for the
Smog really need a stop here.
A little bit of a shovel pass over the middle, more of that dink and dunk, just out to number 10,
Slight a loss of half a yard, I think, there.
Yeah, that shovel pass, it might look nice, but if the defense sniffs it out, it doesn't really get you much. Here they are taking a bit more time in the huddle.
So it's a 25-second play clock from the time the official calls the ball in.
I can't tell if it's a strategy change, but they seem to be taking all 25 seconds of that play clock here. Rolls out a bit to his right, goes for a deep pass. Let's see if he can get in the bucket. And
out of bounds,
ball placement in his hands.
Has he given it?
They've given them the reception. So Dan Frost gets that. Another route. Great pass.
That was
just dropped it in the bucket. Talk about getting it over someone and then getting it down. What a pass and a catch by Dan Frost. Well, catch by Dan Frost.
From our angle, it looked like it was slightly overthrown, but absolutely perfect.
It dropped down there. I did think it was going to sail out of bounds, and we were right on the beat that it was thrown, but it must have dropped in just in time. A little more of a methodical approach here. It looks like they've maybe slowed down between plays. Focused up a bit here for the Supers, walking out to each side of the field. Going to try to get a score here from the 7-yard line. Now that's a direct snap a little to the right, and then a nice little pass there down to the 2. That's a directional snap. Nice to see a little bit of a trickeration there.
Brings up 2nd and short. Our viewers might be able to see the guy just in the middle of the backfield in the blue top. That's Sir Dale Kirby, one of the most experienced flag footballers in the country, former Great Britain kid and flag footballer with his daughter, now helping out with the GB men's and women's flag operations.
And great to see. We'll talk a bit more about the GB program throughout the day here, as we see a nice little underhanded pass to get a touchdown from number 5, Matt Keese, to get that solid completion there. A little bit of patience. Everybody kind of cleared out one way, and then he just...
A little bit of trickery again.
A little bit underneath there. It was clever. we have a lot of GB athletes that are participating throughout the day.
Absolutely.
Quite a few of them in the Premiership, but there are a few
throughout all the divisions. Absolutely. There are a number of coaches here again too. Alan Young, the head coach of the GB men's team, will be joining yourself to help commentate on the Premiership final. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk a bit more about that.
And I'm sure he'll know most of those players.
Absolutely.
there's about 5 of them on every Premiership team we've seen today. Oh, and just a drop there by number 27. Couldn't keep his hands on the ball there for Jacob Matthews for that incompletion. Did not get the conversion. Really struggling with those today.
Yeah, that's only 1 of 4 so far. Hopefully that doesn't come back and bite them. But they do have they've got that 2-score lead now.
Of course, with the game with no field goals, you really have to miss quite a few conversions for a touchdown to really be able to catch up. It's mostly going to come down to who scores the most touchdowns, but we'll see what happens here. And here is Grinrod with a pass over the middle.
Wide open on that post route.
He's really starting to smoke these defenders. Let's see if they can get another completion down there. He's got those long strides, doesn't he? Really gets out.
He's a very good athlete.
Gets out there, pumping downfield. Nice one clean cut, and gets out there on the break. So let's see if they go back to him. Would not be surprised. We've seen them get a long, a couple of plays to him already. Let's see if they keep turning that way, or maybe if the safety starts drifting his way, they can go to somebody else over the middle. Grinrod in the shotgun there, drops back a couple of steps, looks to his right.
Oh.
That's a wide open receiver there, and a nice tight little spin move, trying to shake his little booty away from the defender. You can't guard your flags, but you can certainly gyrate to make sure they're not near the defender.
The specific wording in the rules is the only thing you're not allowed to do is raise the height of your flag, so you're not allowed to jump when you've got the ball.
Well, he certainly didn't do that.
But you can twist and you can spin, you can dip. As long as your knee doesn't touch the ground, you can keep on going.
It was a very impressive move, and gained him a few extra yards there. So it was a good catch and run.
Absolutely, I think.
And then an especially good run with that little extension there towards the end of the play. So now down to the 5-yard line.
I think the new series of Strictly starts on TV soon. I think he might be signing up for that.
Here we go with 2 receivers set out to the left. Looks over the middle, gets a pass.
Oh,
just a
bit high that one, I think.
Yep. Receiver was open as well. I don't think you needed to throw that high.
No.
Sometimes you have to get it over. I mean, like as I mentioned last drive, that there are some defenders that are rather tall.
But he's going along the back of the end zone. There's nobody there. It's just
got to bring that down. You know what that probably is? A bit of an early release. That's what I'd expect. You got to make sure you follow through on that pass, get the ball driving. If you release it just a bit early, it's going to end up a bit high. Let's see what they can do here on 2nd down. 2 receivers out to the left. Looks to his left. Looks over to Nathan.
Oh, it's behind him. That pass was definitely behind him. He got 2 hands on it, though.
2 hands on it, but then was batted out.
Yeah.
Good defense there.
Thrown into double coverage as well.
Well, I guess he trusts Nathan enough to make that play regardless of the coverage. We've seen that today.
Brings up 3rd down, I think. 3rd down and about 4 yards to go.
Not much to go. Let's see if they can take a page out of their opponent's playbook. Go for a little dink and dunk pass here. 2 receivers out to the right. Nathan out to the left on his own. Quarterback drops back. The pass looks over the middle.
And it's another drop at the back of the end zone.
Another drop, and again, it was there. Now, that was, again, one of those, and you receivers got to know, if it's above your chest, you got to get your hands together, pointing the same way. There we kind of had, it was almost like a bucket grab, but above the middle of the chest. It's not great form from Nathan.
On both of those plays, Jordan Millay was rolling out to the front left of the end zone, with his hand up saying, I'm open, but Adam choosing to look elsewhere.
Well, here we are.
This brings up 4th down.
And he looks out to his left, then back to the middle, goes to Nathan, but it's an interception, and he's just going to stay in the end zone there. Wise decision.
It's a touchback. It didn't. I think the heads are starting to go down for the Smug team
agree.
here.
That could have been the turning point there, because there's not a lot of time left in this
game.
There's
not a lot of time. I've put the timer on this time. I reckon we're about halfway through the 2nd half.
And these halves go quick.
The clock, they do, especially when you're behind.
Tick, 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 tick.
They never go fast enough when you're in front.
Though, as we've seen, the Supers are trying to make sure that does go.
Absolutely.
I do think that they made a deliberate choice to say we're 1 or 2 scores up, stretch out this clock, get as much as we can go. Hey, that clock keeps going until 2 minutes. Why not?
Start playing smarter football now. Use that whole 25 seconds. The officials will give a 10-second warning when they're about to run out of time, so they use all of those seconds up.
Now we see the defense there waiting with 4 right across the line of scrimmage within 5 yards of it. Looks like they're going a bit more tight coverage so far. 1 directly over center. There's the pass, a little bit of
Looking
rush,
long.
and he gets good.
Overthrow, I think.
A good look there, but just an overthrow. Could not get the connection to Sam Matthews.
I have to comment on the other pitch that's playing this, the Premier League third and fourth place playoff between the Grangemouth Broncos and the Baker Street Button Hookers. I've just seen Jimmy Thompson, the centre, catch the ball. Jimmy Thompson, officially the oldest man in flag football. He's about 163. Caught a great pass there.
And that's an estimate. No one really knows.
You know, it's no. And I think if you cut him open, you have to, like on trees,
count
rings on a tree.
Yep,
absolutely.
Exactly right.
But no, it's great to see. This is the kind of sport that you can't continue to play as long as all the bits of your body continue to work. That you can keep going.
And in the case of knees, sometimes even if they don't keep
absolutely.
working. It is really great to see, though. As we're winding, into the last quarter of the game here, the flag game really open. High scoring, exciting. It's something that I think people could get into if they've played contact previously or if they haven't.
Absolutely.
And so we see elite athletes that are very young. Then we see some maybe not as elite athletes that have a little bit more experience. Then you see everything in between.
Absolutely. There are people who start out playing flag, go on to kitted, might stay in kitted and then come back. There are people who never want to do kitted. There are ex-kitted players who have never played flag before, but want to continue playing football. But the contact game is just too physically demanding. Or because they're carrying an injury that means they can't do that. But they're still able to carry on and play flag.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, I play offensive line as well, and to go out here and be able to catch a ball, I mean, it's quite alluring. I can see that, and those injuries do rack up. But I think we've seen today just elite flag play from some of these players throughout the whole tournament. But even in this game, we've seen great throws, broken tackles, and now we get to see if the lead can be extended or if this can be a bit of a closer game as we go down into the last few minutes.
I reckon we've got approximately 8 minutes left in this one.
So this looks like an option here. A lot of time, again. But then just throws it back to the quarterback. Maybe a completion. Ball looks a bit bobbled. No, they're going to say incomplete. Didn't that option worked quite well with Dan Frost earlier in the game? I'm surprised that we haven't seen that more from both teams.
And that was on a fourth down as well. I think happy not to try the long one and get it picked off to give the opposition the shorter field. So they thought they'd try and get it with a little trick play.
And we saw the button hookers actually, I believe they kneeled the ball in the previous game to try to ensure that someone got the longer field.
Yeah, that was absolutely it was the smoke that did it. It was on an extra point.
Forced the button hookers to have the long field.
Yeah. Well, I think it was actually on they were 2 points up and didn't want to risk throwing an interception on the extra point, which could be returned for 2 points. So they actually kneeled as the offense on the extra point. I think the first time I've ever seen that happen.
I was a bit confused until you found out some of the scores. But what the result of that was, just to catch you guys up here, with obviously one of the heavy favorites coming into today for today's afternoon game, it came down to with 5 seconds left on the clock at a completion over the middle. The button hookers felt that they had gotten down. The referees disagreed. And there's a nice little mesh play here. And two receivers crossing, two roasted tackles.
Yeah.
Oh, he is really good. They're getting ready for Strictly here. It's very impressive. What a play. I mean, talk about, flag guarding completely within the rules, just moving your hips.
Just move your hips, yeah. So flag guarding, that's, using any, if you're like your natural running action might take your hand down in front of the flags, but it would still be a penalty. If you lean your elbow down, that would still be a penalty.
Two receivers out to the right, Nathan on his own. To the left, gets a quick completion there with the center just doing a quick little out route.
I reckon we've got about 6 minutes left. I think we have to think that the Smog have to score on this drive to have any chance of getting back into this.
I'd agree. Particularly, they're certainly going to get down to 2 minutes, and then if you're still 2 scores down with that time left, it's going to be a hard row to hoe. So now here we have two receivers out to the right, same formation as the last play. Looks for that corner route, but that dragged the safety out on a nice little corner route. Had a receiver go down, streaking down the sideline. Could not bring in the reception. Tough break there. Smog had it in their hands. Could have got a touchdown. We've said that too often.
Too often, no. In that previous drive, I think they dropped 2 in the end zone. So.
Now they flip the formation, have 2 on the left, 1 on the right. Throws it over the middle for a quick completion and extends the ball. Let's see if the refs give it to him. They're looking at each other.
Thinking about it.
Staring like 2 cats in an alleyway.
I think they decided it's short.
Down at the 1.
It was very close.
There was a lot of deliberation there. You can tell that they want to get this right. That's important.
And it's where the point of the ball is, which is why he reached out. It used to be a good few years ago in flag football. It used to be where your feet are, so you could step forward and actually, keep the ball to your body. But it's
almost
changed.
Slide tackle into the end zone.
Yeah.
Here we are. Looks out to his right. Little quick completion,
Oh,
maybe?
Jordan
Yes, he just got it.
Jordan has 2 tries, but manages to pull that in.
He bobbled it, but you know what? As you said earlier, they all count.
They all count.
They all count. And that brings it a bit closer here. So if they can get another stop, it's going to be within one
Make
score.
that 25-19 so far, with the extra points still to come. They're still going to be at least 1 touchdown behind.
To be completely honest, I'm not sure this conversion matters. That
Not a whole. I don't think it will.
If it's 19, I guess if they get a conversion here, then a score will win it instead of getting the tie. But they're going to have to score again anyway.
Jump ball. Oh, good defense there.
Number 3, that's Dan Frost again.
We keep calling his name today.
Offense, defense, getting all around the board.
They've only got 5. They're everywhere.
That's a bit of a risky play, really, when you think about it, because if the defense had caught that and run it back, that actually brings it outside of 1 score. So maybe they should have gone with the strategy we saw earlier today.
Assuming the officials agree with us, we've got it as 25-19 to the Western Supers. It's a 6-point game with approximately under 4 minutes, I reckon.
Pretty quick here. Yeah, let's see what we can do. Now this clock's going to keep going and going and going pretty quick until that 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
So if you're on defense here, you want to stop that.
And unfortunately, we don't have a link into the official game clock.
Now that's
that could go down as a contact penalty. The defense is not allowed to knock the ball out. I don't think it was
intentional, but
he bobbled it, but
yeah.
I know I did see it. One of the first times I've ever seen it called today, that the blitzer knocked the ball out of a receiver's hand as they were running along, and it did get added on to the end of the play.
Well, because there wasn't a flag, that's a nice little run. Yeah. Little run near the midway point, maybe about 5 yards short of it for Sam Matthews.
Use up another 30 seconds.
Exactly right.
Brings up second and about 4 yards to go.
Now, you might see a trick play here. There are 2 people pretty much over center.
It's going to be a direct snap to the running back, I reckon, or is he going to come in front?
No, a little handoff there.
His flag fell out. So if the flag falls out, that basically counts the same as a tackle.
I think there's a good chance that's a touchdown if that flag doesn't fall out.
Quite possibly.
I mean, he was just streaking down the field.
Which is why at the start of every play, every player should be checking their flags to make sure their flags are in. There's nothing worse as it is there than you're running down the field and your flag falls out.
I mean, that could have iced the game.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like he missed a ball, he didn't know drop.
They weren't coming back from that one.
Just a flag falling off.
And I think they're going to do exactly the same again here.
We got to find out where the Smog get their flags, because even with all the shimmies, they're staying on their hips. Here they're falling off with for the Supers with nothing. A deep pass over the middle, and just off the outstretched hands. Wow!
He got 2 hands on it, I think. That was a good.
I'd say he got half of 2 hands on it. I think it was the fingers from each hand. Couldn't quite get his palms on the ball. So just out the outstretched hand.
That brings up 4th down, I think. 4th and short, yeah. 4th and about 4 or 5 yards to go.
Now this is their territory, though, getting these 5-yard passes. Let's see.
I think this is the game on the line here. First, we are.
Now this is 2-minute warning. I'd take your time here.
So each team gets 2 timeouts per half, and the clock inside the 2-minute warning, unique to flag football, the clock will also stop on first down. So if they get here, the clock will stop. It essentially gives another timeout.
And it won't start running again until
this ball is snapped.
Until the snap. It's not like once it's spotted, like you might see like you see in contact. So here's with the rollout to his right, looking deep, cuts backfield, has a player. Just couldn't get it. Well, that's a lot of movement from the quarterback. He's rolling out to his right, then out to his left, trying to throw it on the move. And that's a big stop there, because what that means now is that this game is absolutely wide open.
The game is in the balance here. So 6 points behind now for the Smog.
Touchdown.
Approximately 1 minute 55 on the clock. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the clock here.
And we mentioned this earlier with these conversions. How many have they missed?
Western have missed 3.
So this game would have been out of reach if they had converted their...
It could.
Oh, there's a drop pass just over the middle. Had a nice cut. Had him in stride. Hit both his hands and a drop there. So you need a little more time to work with under these 2 minutes. I think it feels almost like a longer game now.
It's because that clock stops. It does a bit longer. With timeouts, if they don't get this, the game isn't over, but it's very close to being over.
You got to go to Nathan here. I'd say he's done something all game. Deep and that's exactly who it is, and he's juking around. And he managed to extend. They do get a tackle, but it's well over midfield, about 10 yards past the midfield. And as you said,
clock stops for first down 3. Now they're moving the ball. What they don't want to do is leave too much time on the clock for the other team to come back again. You want to score, but with not much time left on if you're the coming from behind team.
Of course, you only have 4 down, so it's a little bit easier to budget that clock. You don't have to worry about getting a first down right near the goal line or anything. You got 4 plays. Can you make those last the minute that you have left? I'm sure they're asking the refs right now for those timings. A little bit of an out route there, and he gets the completion.
Tackle is inbounds. That means the clock will continue to run. If he stepped out of bounds, then the clock would stop, just like normal contact rules.
So you got a little bit faster here. I'm not sensing enough urgency from the offense right now.
See,
I know you want to spread it out, but you got to get the ball
we don't
close.
need that. See, what they want to do, they want to score, but not leave any time left on the clock for the opposition.
I think they're assuming that they're going to score from where they are now, instead of getting like 5 yards and then. So here we go with an out route, pass over the middle, cutting, and he gets his hand extension. And they're saying he's down at the 1 inbounds?
Yeah, clock will continue to tackle them inbounds.
Well, they're doing exactly what you said. I'm not sure that was the plan, but they're going to have...
3rd down, short.
About 15, 20 seconds. The referee is not signaling as much, so I think we might be a bit ahead on the timer. But I can't hear this far.
Fair, I think I'm on it. We're about a minute and rolling. 3rd and an inch, I think.
Yeah, it's about 1. I mean, just have the center turn around and catch it. There's a little quick whip route on the right side and a touchdown to currently tie up the game, but that's with the conversion pending.
So the clock has now stopped. Within the 2-minute warning is an untimed extra point.
What a nice little route, little whip route. Just one cut inside, defender cuts in. Got this a little bit of separation, really good way to extend out the hands, get that pass, and a great placement by the quarterback to put that where it needed to be. 2 receivers out to the left. I'd go to Nathan here again. They've gone to that one.
I'm reckon it's Jordan Millay on the quick out to the left.
You think so? Let's see. That Jordan Millay, he did go out to the left.
Back corner left.
And he gets
he's got it.
Wow. Could you have called that more accurately?
Yeah, it's like I'd seen him play before.
Well, is there a flag on the field?
No, there's a flag.
There is a flag on the field.
There is a flag. It's
false start.
False start. Oh.
That's got to be a heartbreaker for Millay. Oh, for Millay and all of the smog.
Me.
Now they'll get another try from further away.
Absolutely, because if it would decline, then it would have been...
Now, to clarify, because it was a penalty that brought them back, they're not allowed to run it.
Correct.
So even though
if the officials call it correctly, then it's a 1-point extra point.
Yeah,
from
it
the
looks like a longer one.
Yeah.
It looks like they cannot run. It is, in fact, a regular 1-point conversion here. So he drops back, looks to his right, and looks over the middle of the field.
Yeah, Nathan Coles.
I think they wanted to do what both of us said. They went with Millay on the out route, and then they went with Nathan. They wanted to make us both look right. What a catch by him. You know, they dropped how many in the back of the end zone earlier in the game? And then here, at the biggest point of the game, he gets the biggest completion. We saw almost that exact same play be a drop just a few minutes ago. So way to turn that around.
It's the go-ahead score, 26-25 to the Outlaw Gunslingers now. I've got approximately 45 seconds on my game clock.
Which, you know what, in flag, that's enough to score.
That's a lot of time.
That's enough to score.
So they've got, each team's still got 2 timeouts. The clock will stop on 1st down as well.
I think this is going to have to come down to actually stopping someone. It's not going to be the clock that's your enemy. I mean, with 2 timeouts and all these clock stoppages, these last 2 minutes can take forever in a flag game. So here he is with the ball snapped to him, and he's going deep. But that's a bit of a wobbler.
And he's got
a completion on the first play.
And he's in.
There now.
Any flags on? No, there are no flags.
No flags on the play, and all the flags are still inside the waist of Sam Matthews.
However,
what a completion!
Just like it was the other way, though, that still leaves time on the clock for Smog to come back. I've got it about 38, 39 seconds on my game clock.
And as we said, they haven't used any timeouts either.
No.
Almost too fast. But what are you going to do? Fall at the 1 yard line?
I've seen it happen before.
I'd rather take the guaranteed lead.
Yeah.
I might take the knee if I was up by a point and you wanted to run out the clock. But if you're down by a point, now this conversion is going to come down to it. Very important.
See, this is where these conversions...
And then struggle with these all day. 2 receivers out to the center, all bunched together. Rolls out to his right. Got a quick out route.
He's got it.
That's a good play design right there. You bring everybody into the middle, and then you have them just fan out, and you see with that roll out, you get a nice little launch angle.
32-26 to Weston.
So
approximately 38 seconds.
So a score and a conversion still gets the win. A score gets you a tie. What are the overtime rules for
overtime rules? We have 1 series each from the halfway line, so essentially 4 downs to score, unless the defense intercepts and runs it back for a pick 6.
Now they're all going deep. There's actually 2 deep safeties here, so he's going to throw it underneath and just get a quick completion for about 5 yards.
What we haven't said today is, mentioned at all, is Adam taking a little bit of time there on that pass. The quarterback has to release the ball within 7 seconds from the moment of the snap, unless there is a play action or it's been pitched off to somebody else that's still behind the line of scrimmage.
And
then
that might come into play here because they're dropping so many people into zone coverage. Now here's a deep pass and a snappy completion there.
And
Just
it's a
drop
first
that right
down,
in the
which
bucket.
means the clock will stop. I've got it at approximately 13, 14, 15 seconds left on the game clock.
Now that's Tom Reed who made the completion there. And that was a laser of a ball. It wasn't even that high. I'd be shocked if that was 15 yards in the air.
Perfect
really
placement between the zones there.
Yeah, you got to dissect that zone, and it did that perfectly. So let's see what they can do here. 2 receivers set out to the left.
Western Supers continue to blitz, playing their 3-1 with a blitz.
There's the rush over the middle, so he's got to get off that quick release.
Did he get it?
He got a catch over the middle. Nick said incomplete.
No, it was.
Now, I'm a bit concerned that there's no flag. That was an awful lot of contact from that defensive back, but I guess they're saying they're both going for the ball.
Yeah, both going for the same ball. Each player has got equal right to go for the ball. Obviously, you're not allowed to go through the player, but...
it also looks a bit more dramatic when somebody trips over somebody's leg, so it looks a little bit more like a flag. So
I think they might be calling it a completion. They're just still discussing about whether he managed to get underneath that or not.
Well, no replays today, and there's certainly no BAFA replays. So we can't they have placed the ball at the 1, and he's singling a timeout.
A timeout.
Well, that makes perfect sense because it's a catch within the boundaries.
Yeah. So I've got approximately 12 seconds left, but I really don't know how much time's left.
At this point, that's almost the margin of error. So we'll see.
Plus or minus 10 seconds.
Yeah, you've been pretty good with that all day, so I think we're certainly close.
Unfortunately, we don't have communications two-way with the officials.
Now they left the center. He doesn't. He could just literally step up and turn around and catch a pass.
Well, he's 5 yards out. Jordan, and he reaches out and gets the score.
There you go. He did exactly as I said. I mean, he didn't quite literally just go a step, but it wasn't that long. So
the scores are now tied.
This conversion coming down to everything.
Extra point. I don't know how much time is left. They might have one play.
What a play there. We've seen the center really step up here. Talk about completions. How many is that for him today? It's at least. How many? Well, I think it's at least 2 or 3 scores. It's quite the step for him as the center. Get that nice little quick, not quite an out route. It was more diagonal to the flat.
So this score's tied at 32 apiece with only a few seconds left.
And the long huddle here, walking to the side or to the line of scrimmage, taking their time.
Split 2 to the left again.
Grinrod has really stepped up here in the second half. Let's see if he can make a play here.
A poor first half by his standards.
And he rolls out, looks to his right, and he doesn't. So we have a tie game right now at 32 apiece. Might get to see some overtime today.
I don't think we've ever had overtime in a final in flag football. I could be wrong.
That was the first time for everything.
Not that I can remember. We haven't had any today. Grangemouth Broncos just getting a score in our other game against the Baker Street Button Hookers.
Wish you could have seen it. He was definitely making some plays in the open field there. You can hear that cheering.
I think the Button Hookers are up in that one.
The third, fourth.
So we have a few seconds left. So there is a chance that the Western, with Adam Gunrod back at deep safety.
Yeah, talk about deep, like 30 yards from the line of scrimmage deep.
I reckon there's one play left.
That must be it, and they just do a little shovel pass forward and try to get it there.
Get a first down timeout.
No, I think they stopped it before,
Possibly.
And the referees are.
Maybe.
He's over the midfield. I don't know.
I think,
no, they said he was short.
But whether it's.
They give him a timeout, perhaps. Yeah, I think so. They have signaled the timeout there, so they're going to have at least one more play.
3 deep safeties this time.
Now, here's an interesting choice. You ask the ref how much time is left, because obviously our clock, I think, is hit 0. You can get a first down with only about 5 yards and stop the clock.
But only when the play is finished.
Yeah. So, you have a player catch it and then fall to his knees very quickly, but then,
Yeah, but if the clock is expired, I think you have to go for the end zone.
I think that's what they're going to do here, and that's certainly...
We estimate there's 2 or 3 seconds left only.
That's certainly what the Smogs seem to do, and they have 3 people defending the goal line. There's that option that they've seen so much success from.
And
Frost throws it over there, and incomplete. The ball hits the ground.
That is full time. It is full time, and we have overtime.
Wow. How exciting. Is that 2 more minutes like halftime then?
No, so it is what...
in terms of the white?
We probably should be just a couple of minutes.
There you go.
As long as the officials Yeah, the officials just having a chat about exactly what the overtime rules are. We had a little discussion about this earlier. So, as I started saying before, they have one series each from the halfway line. So basically, 4 downs to score. They'll both get a chance. If it's still all tied up after that, including after extra points, they basically go for a 1 point extra point shootout.
They get that done over with, done quick.
Yeah.
They don't want overtime to last very long.
Unless the defense intercepts at all and returns it for a pick 6, then the game will be over. But essentially, on each time, each team will get an opportunity on offense.
Well, what a great comeback so far for the Smog to bring this up into a tie game.
I think a tie so far is a fair representation of how the game has gone. I know Weston were 2 scores up, and I've been 2 scores up a couple of times, but the Gunslingers getting it back.
And they flipped it there. You had the Smog with 2 scores in the first half, 3 in the second, and then 3 in the first and 2 in the second for the Supers. It looks like the referees are explaining the halftime or the overtime
I don't
rules.
think the Western Supers did much wrong in the second half. The Smog just turned it up, and I know getting those catches, which particularly at the start and then right at the end of that first half, that they were dropping those ones.
You could actually almost make the argument that the Smog would be disappointed in the second half because they probably could have won at regulation with all those drops. But
it's those extra points. I know both teams had 3 missed extra points.
Did you make any of those?
Yeah,
there you go.
Including on that, that very last, touchdown they scored. That would have done it.
Well, it's all on the table now. They're explaining all the rules. We have a huddle of every single referee and all the squads on the field right now, and they are walking back to start it. Referee walking out to midfield here.
So because this game is going into overtime, we will be slightly delayed with our Premiership final, but that will start. The teams are ready to start straight after this one is finished. The London Smoke versus the Cardiff Hurricanes, which I think will be on a slightly different link for our viewers.
Yeah, I believe that they'll have to jump onto a different link here, but they'll still be able to find us on the same channel. Well, we're winding down on this game pretty much no matter who wins. We're going to be done in the next few minutes.
Absolutely.
What a great game.
Yeah, it's been, it's the end to a great season.
You want a game like this. It's showcased. Obviously, we're here from Onside Productions showing this, and you want to see a high standard of football, and that's exactly what we've gotten today. We've had broken tackles, deep passes, great defense, game-saving bat downs on defense.
Interceptions in the end zone.
I mean, what more could you ask for? We even saw a fumble.
Yeah, a nice clean game. Very few penalties so far. I think we've got one false start.
There was a false start that looked like it was going to stop the comeback, but actually they ended up scoring the next play anyway. So
here we have the coin toss in the middle for to see who starts with the ball, just like at the start of the game.
Let's see what the ruling is here.
Western Supers have won the toss, it looks like. No, we're going to redo that one.
Redo a coin flip.
No, best of 3 maybe, I'm not sure.
Maybe it landed on its side.
Not sure what the result of that is, but no, Western Supers moving down to this end.
Now you'd want the ball second here if you could choose, I suppose.
See, I'm not sure it really makes much difference. I know, do you score first and know what you have to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know if we need to convert a 1-point or a 2-point conversion. But because if the other team misses the conversion entirely, then you can get the 1. I don't need to risk it from 2. But I'm sure coaches are going to argue all day about that.
Just on live on Premiership as well, so say hello to people on there.
So if you are listening to us from the Premiership stream, we are currently broadcasting the end of the League One final, which has gone into overtime between the South Midlands Outlaw Gunslingers and the Weston Supers. And that is just starting into overtime now.
This is the first play of overtime. So we have the South Midlands Outlaw Gunslingers starting their series. So overtime rules, you have a series from the from the midway line. 4 chances to score, no timeouts in extra time.
And there's a name that we've heard quite a bit. Nathan Coles gets that little quick pass and does a little bit of a salsa.
Does his
little shimmy to his
move.
left, little shift to his right. And I don't know if he got any extra yards off it, but sure did look good.
So they've got 4 chances to score, and then the extra point try, and then Western will get a chance. Unless Western intercept this and return it for 6, and the game will be over.
Grinrod looks over the middle, tries to get a completion. It is too low.
Underthrown down at his knees there. That brings up 3rd down.
Kind of a safe underthrow there. I think if it was a bit higher, potential for a pick there from Dan Frost.
Thrown into double coverage.
No, we're onside. Double coverage is our friend. They do the print stuff.
We don't mention double coverage, do we?
No, we like Nick. Anyway, here we go on 3rd down. 3rd and pretty long. Let's see if they try to cut it in half or just try to go for two deeper passes to the end zone. Here they have all 3 receivers set out
on the left.
Grinrod is about to take the snap. He scans out to his right to the center, looks over back to the left, and gets a quick completion. Just for about 5 yards, bring it into a bit of striking distance.
Puts it to the 10-yard line. That's 4th and goal from the 10-yard line.
That's a nice little play there. You set up with trips, but then you have the center go out to the right, still spreads out the field, even though you got the trips.
1/3 of the distance that they need.
Well, they need to get this here because I think we've seen a lot of scoring here in this game, particularly in the second half. I would not trust a defense to try to hold someone back here. You got to get a score and out gunsling them.
Neither of these teams will have much experience of overtime football, though. Western Supers, well, both teams playing in their first year, but I know the individuals on. Oh, and it's an
interception.
Not that it really mattered because it was 4th down. But 4 and out for the South Midlands Outlaw Gunslingers. So what that means is if Western score here on this drive from the halfway line, they are the League One champions for 2019, playing in their first season.
You got to feel a bit bad for Grinrod here. He's living up to the gunslinger name. I think he's probably had 3 or 4 scores dropped in the end zone.
Absolutely, that tipped ball yet again.
You know, it's interesting. They're going in the same direction. I thought for sure they'd go in two different directions. They're coming to the camera.
Makes it look good.
It does look good. So here we go.
Makes it easier for us to see.
Matt Keese in the shotgun here with 2 receivers out to his right. Looks to his right to start and just starts off with a quick completion. And that's a great flag.
Great grab, Dan really Frost good on the catch again, picking that ball up off his toes.
Talk about a dive though there. Could have got a little bit of a run after the catch. Didn't get a thing. What great defense there. Sometimes you give up a catch, you still make a play.
Okay, more yards on 1st down than the Smog did.
Yeah, the Smog need to step up here on defense, which is they've done a little bit at key points throughout the second half. Let's see if they can keep it up here.
Sticking with the same defense with their blitz, looking at cover 4.
Here's that formation with the running back right next to the quarterback. Let's see if they do a shovel pass or an option. No, they do not.
Oh, it's a drop. I think
just off the outstretched fingers.
Slightly overthrown possibly, but he still got a hand to it.
That's clever. You're overloading the right side. People think it's going to be an option. Maybe you get a linebacker to step up. You have that center open, but just off the fingertips. So now they're going to have 2 more tries here, and then if they don't get this, we're going to go into a shootout.
It's an extra point shootout from the 5-yard line.
And then a coin flipping contest, maybe?
Well,
we saw that twice already.
You know, we have had in previous seasons. I helped officiate a game a few years ago, which I know a number of the Smog players in, we actually went into 6 overtimes.
Well, there you go. We'll see if that happens in today. A little bit of run off the left side, and he gets outside and he gets the score.
Made, but where's the ball? He's called it.
He's down at the 1.
Short of the 1-yard line.
He was extending the ball over the end zone, and they got a tackle there just at the 1. Talk about intense.
This potentially national championship comes down to this. This is 4th and less than the distance of the ball.
Yeah, 4th and an index card.
4th, yeah.
I mean, the referee's he's almost touching the pylon over there. What a play, because he got around to get down to the 1. I thought the tackle was going to be made at the 10.
Yeah.
So here they are breaking out the huddle, taking their time.
So this is where they're, I know, obviously they can't run it. Remember, the ball has to cross the line of scrimmage in the air, but given that they're basically standing, the line of scrimmage is virtually the goal line, that's going to happen.
I'd look for the center or the receiver here. Now look at this.
Fancy stuff.
There's no one under center. He's going to snap it sideways and then do a little bit of a pitch.
It is good.
What a trick play to end the game.
The Western Supers, seed number 7, are the League One national champions for 2019.
And with only 5 players for the entire day.
For the entire day. They win 38 points to 32.
And what a trick play to end the game. You have a snap off to the right, everyone's running to the left, and then you just get a nice little pitch for that half yard. What a game.
So the Western Supers, in their first game today, they beat the second-ranked Leeds Samurai 31-30. So that was a 1-point game in that one. And then they beat the number 1 ranked Reapers 45-38 in the second round. So they've knocked off the first seed, they've knocked off the third seed, and they've knocked off the fourth seed.
That's quite impressive. What a day.
I think they deserve exactly what they've got today with only 5 players.
I don't think you could have a better underdog story there.
Yeah.
Knocking off all those high seeds and then coming back from almost giving the victory away and then making that key play at the end of the game from the half-yard line.
Got their nose in front, like they were, getting chased, but managed to just get it back.
Good execution on that last.
Yeah,
I love that last
trick
play.
stuff, yeah. As
what
long
a
as
great
that,
play.
That snap, as long as it goes, it doesn't go forward, snapping it out to the side, it's a legal snap.
Now let's talk about the next game that we have here, switching over to the Premiership final.
In the next game, we have the Cardiff Hurricanes, who only lost 1 game during the regular season to the Button Hookers, who are not in the final, playing against the London Smoke, who finished second in the South East Conference in the Premier League, who lost a number of games throughout the season, including to the Cardiff Hurricanes. They lost 3 games, 2 to the Button Hookers, 1 to the Cardiff Hurricanes. So Cardiff Hurricanes going into this as the favourites.
Look at that, there's a herd of zebras on the field as well getting ready for this final here because they got the handoff from the League One final to the Premiership final. I can't emphasize enough how great the officiating's been today.
It's
really,
good,
really good clear calls. And,
very few flags to throw in that one, which makes it so much easier.
And they had the key flags when they needed it. I mean, they really made some good calls there. Good, clean football is what you want to see, and the refs just let them play, and everyone did very well there. So if you're joining us now, if you were not watching the League One final, we just watched the conclusion of the South Midlands Outlaw Gunslingers and the Western Supers, but we're now into the Premier final here. And what an exciting matchup we have at this highest level of flag American football here on this beautiful day in Manchester. It's dirt track surrounding this great field here. We're going to be watching the teams on the far right side of the pitch. The wind's kicking up a bit here leading into the game. It wasn't that much of a factor in the first game, but I do think that
it's definitely getting stronger.
It is getting stronger. We can see the nets moving around, a couple things falling over here and there. The referee's jersey wafting in the wind. What a great day. The forecast was not
it was not good.
The forecast was looking like it was going to look more like your home country.
Yeah.
And then we get away with this. So, how many Premiership players do you think we have in this matchup here between the, let's talk about the Smoke first.
So, a team, so London Smoke, who won the League One Championship last year, promoted into the hardest division in football, have qualified for playoffs in their first year in Prem. A great mix of players.
I love that name as well, London Smoke.
A team with they have a second team that played in the same conference as the Outlaw Gunslingers, actually, called the London Flash.
All right, now we're going to have a handoff here. I want to thank... All right, actually, never mind. I have my future co-host here next to me, but we're not quite going to switch him away yet. We'll switch over in a few minutes here as we get ready for the final.
You looked pretty stressed at all. So I'm now trying to get that back. Has that got internet? Oh, there you go. There we go.
Who have we got in the final?
We've got the Cardiff Hurricanes, who are in blue, against the London Smoke, who are in green.
Well, not only overtime, but it went down to a play on 4th down at the half-yard line. Is that what it was?
One of Matthew's favorite plays.
Yeah, the block though.
A dead block.
Least favorite or most effective?
You're not mapped into SDI.
Against good teams as well. But review the second.
I had a play once, so my missing contact, but the coach said,